Hello and welcome to Catholic Answers Live. I'm Cy Kellett, your host. Thank you so much for being here with us on this Wednesday afternoon, or maybe Wednesday evening, or Thursday morning, where you are, wherever you are, and whatever time it is. We're just really happy you're here. Thanks for being with us. We're going to do 2 hours of open forum with two of the best apologists on the planet Earth. First hour, Jimmy Akin. Second hour, Tim Staples will be here. And then we're going to mix in some fundraising with all of that. So let me set the table a little bit. This is the second day of our 3 days of spring fundraising. This is so that we can raise the money to continue to do what we're doing now for the next 3 months. If we reach our goal, then we're fully funded for the next 3 months. And as you might remember, we didn't reach our goal the last time, so it was a bit of a struggle, but we're quite confident this time, and we're grateful for everyone who has called and supported, and we'll be asking...
It was painful.
It was painful, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Indeed. Jimmy Akin, you are quite correct. So I want to give out the number where you can call if you have a question for Jimmy. And then I'm only going to give it out a few times. Maybe I'll give it out at the half-hour mark if we're low on calls. But other than that, I'm not giving it out anymore because I got that other fundraising number to give out. So if you have a question for Jimmy Akin on anything, you're welcome to call 888-318-7884. And who can call? Anybody who's got a phone in their hand. 888-318-7884. Anyone welcome. We love to take your questions. 888-318-7884. Now we will move on to the fundraising. Jimmy, you want to set us up for what do we got this hour?
Well, right now we have 12 of our Catholic Answers employees, and I'm expecting there will be more in just a few minutes. But right now we have 12 of our Catholic Answers employees sitting at their desks waiting to take calls from you, the audience. And so far, they're all waiting. No calls have come in yet, but if we want to have a good start to this hour, we do need to start hearing from people. We have a $20,000 matching challenge this hour, and so if you call and you give $10 a month, that becomes $20 a month. If you call and you give $20 a month, it becomes $40 and so forth. I know Cy is a little bit shy of doing math on the air, but you get the idea. They're all doubled. And the way to give us a call is simply call 888-291-8000. That's 888-291-8000. I see we've gotten our first call in.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We need to hear from a bunch more folks, though. Now, as you were saying at the beginning of the show, Cy, last time we did a fundraising drive, and we only do them 4 times a year. We only do it for 3 days, so 2 hours, 3 days. And even then, when we're doing fundraising, we still answer questions. So it's really, we're trying to keep this to the minimum we can. And last time, we had an anomaly where we did not get close to our goal. And that was difficult. That was a struggle. I remember that. I remember being on the air. And, you know, it's really tragic when we're not able to get the show fully funded so we can keep doing our work and all the other work at Catholic Answers. The good news is that that yesterday we had a good start to this drive.
We did.
It was a good start, and we were about a third of our way to our overall drive goal, which is what we needed. If we're doing this for 3 days, you want to be about a third of the way there on each day, and we made that third. We also met our matching challenges yesterday for both hours, so that was great. But now we need a strong second day, because if it doesn't go well today and tomorrow, then we're back into that painful situation. And we don't want to go there. So we really appreciate your help. Give us a call. The number is 888-291-8000. You can also go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com from anywhere in the world. And even if you're listening delayed via podcast, you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com anywhere in the world on any electronic device, whether it's a computer or a phone or a tablet, whatever it is, and make your donation safely and securely online. And I understand some folks have been doing that. We have been having donors from other parts of the world, not just from North America. Cy, why don't you tell us about some of those donors?
Well, I kind of went through them before the program today, and I was really excited to see.
I know, but I want the audience to hear them.
No. All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. I was kind of excited to see 2 donors today, just earlier today. They must have heard the show on delay in Scotland. And so one from Glasgow and one from just outside of Glasgow, Scotland. That would be in North Lanarkshire, which I want to go to now. I have not been to the Shire, but North Lanarkshire and Glasgow. Thank you very much. I got to say, though, Scotland, that means Scotland is ahead of Canada right now. One pledge so far from British Columbia, Canada. And a really cool thing from Singapore. Someone joined our Founders Circle, which is a pledge of $5,000 or more. And so we're very, very grateful for that pledge from Singapore. We're grateful for everybody who has pledged. I want to give you a little bit of the international update, though. There may be others that I didn't catch, but I'll keep going through them and see if I can catch any other international donations. That's easy to do. You just go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. CatholicAnswersRadio.com. It's safe and secure. It's online. It'll work anywhere, and it'll work with any of your devices. CatholicAnswersRadio.com. I'm going to just a quick run through how the matches work again, and then I'm going straight to the phones and let Jimmy answer some questions.
Okay. Have it be a quick run through, but say it slowly.
888-291-8000 is the number to call and make your pledge. 20 of our colleagues on the phones ready to take your calls right now. The way the match works is anything that you pledge or give right now is matched dollar for dollar up to $20,000. A one-time gift of $5, a monthly donation of $1,000 a month. It's all matched dollar for dollar up to $20,000 this hour. But we have another donor who has given us a second match, and that the second match will be applied to any new monthly donors in any amount. Any new monthly pledges that are started will be matched dollar for dollar twice. So your money is tripled. Make a $20 pledge, and I did the math before I came on the air so that I have this in my head. $20 pledge per month, that's $60 for us per month. $100 pledge per month, that's $300 a month for us. So perfect time to call, and all the lines are open. So 888-291-8000. Please help us right now because the lines are very, very slow, and I'll share with you where we are after we take a call or two in the pledge drive, but we need your help. 888-291-8000. We go now to Charleston, West Virginia. Daniel in Charleston, West Virginia, watching on YouTube. You are numero uno today. Daniel, go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy. You've helped me so much in my life, and I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have been struggling considerably with scrupulosity and OCD, in addition to my struggle with serious mental sin. The church unapologetically teaches that we're to avoid all voluntary proximate occasions of mortal sin, and if not, our confessions are void.
Where does the church say that?
I've seen it in the Baltimore Catechism.
Okay.
Oh, and there's an article on Catholic.com which states that as well.
Okay.
From the Catholic Encyclopedia. And I'm just frustrated because I don't know how I'm supposed to approach life when, due to my overactive mind, a considerable number of objectively neutral things become proximate occasions.
Yeah.
And and I just want to. The one that frustrates me the most that I've been struggling with really right now is that I like to nap, but in moderation. But when I take a nap when I'm not tired, which is what I like to do, my brain is overactive and presents seriously sinful thoughts a lot, which I consent to most of the time. But I'm convinced if my mind was not so overactive, this may not be a problem. What am I to do? This affects other areas of my life, and am I less culpable? Would my confessions be void if I didn't get this out of my life? And I thank you so much again, Jimmy. You are a blessing to my life.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. In terms of what you said was church teaching, now you cited two sources. One was a Catholic Encyclopedia article, and the Catholic Encyclopedia is not a magisterial document. It is not church teaching. It's an encyclopedia. It's a collection of opinions that reflect the views of the authors who wrote them. In terms of the Baltimore Catechism, it's a local catechism that was made here in the United States. That's why it's called the Baltimore Catechism, and it is not an infallible document, and it doesn't reflect the universal magisterium of the church. It reflects the local magisterium of the United States at the time it was written. So one of the things I would do is suggest looking at the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which, even though it's not infallible, it is an exercise of the Church's ordinary magisterium. It was issued by the Vatican, and if you look in the section on the requirements for the penitent, in the sacrament of confession, it does not mention proximate occasion of sin or near occasion of sin or anything like that as one of the things that the penitent must resolve to avoid. It furthermore does not say that without such a resolution the sacrament would be invalid. I also have checked the Vatican website as a whole, because I regularly do Google searches on the entire Vatican website to see if things are discussed in other documents besides the Catechism. And I've searched on these subjects, and I didn't find anything there either. So as far as I can tell, this is not a teaching of the Church. Now, it's good practical advice, but it seems to be something that is the Baltimore Catechism may have included it as a way of trying to protect people from falling into the near occasion of sin. Because if you've repented of your sins, well, that means you've set your will against them. You don't want to do them in the future. Or you're choosing, to set your will against them. And as an extra backup, it can be good not only to set your will against the sin itself, but to set your will against even getting into situations where you would be severely tempted. And that's a good thing to do. I recommend everybody does that. But from the research I've done on this question in the actual documents of the magisterium, I do not see the magisterium saying that in addition to having repented of the sin, you also must make this resolution in order for your confession to be valid. Based on my study of the subject, it simply is not there. And so I would encourage you, especially as someone who's dealing with various mental issues like OCD and scrupulosity, that you set that aside and you don't worry about that. It is sufficient that you simply say, I don't want to do this sin. By God's grace, I want to avoid it. And that's sufficient for a person making a confession. What you will tend to do if you try to envision near occasions of sin is imagine yourself being tempted. And that's putting additional pressure on yourself that you don't need to have. One should never try to envision situations in which one is tempted against the faith. Sometimes people will wonder, well, what would I really do if I was called upon to be martyred for Jesus? Would I have the strength to go through with martyrdom, or might I deny the faith? And in those cases, people are putting pressure on themselves now that they don't need to have, because they're not in that situation. They're not being called to be martyred for Jesus right now, and so they don't have the graces that God will give them when they are in that situation. So if you're called to be martyred, God will give you the grace to endure martyrdom at the time. But don't expect him to give you that grace right now so you can just serenely face the thought of martyrdom as a hypothetical possibility. In the same way, thinking about situations where, I'm going to be gravely tempted to sin, what would I do? That's putting pressure on yourself that you are not meant to have right now. Trust God to give you the grace in the situation of temptation to get through the situation of temptation, but do not put pressure on yourself now, thinking that I've got to feel the way now that I would need to feel then, that I've got to push this temptation away. That's just tempting yourself right now to fail. So don't do that. Anybody who has any kind of OCD or scrupulosity should focus on the here and now and not spin hypothetical scenarios in their mind. It is enough for the validity of the sacrament for you at the moment you're going to the sacrament to simply say, I don't want to do this sin. I want God's grace to help me avoid it, and leave it at that, and don't spin hypothetical scenarios in your mind. That's sound pastoral advice that would have been given by authors in previous ages to people with scrupulous consciences, and it's the advice that I would give to you.
Daniel, thank you so much for the call. I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope that it was helpful to you. Right now, we are in the third hour of our 6-hour pledge drive. This is our spring pledge drive that this finances us till we come back to you 3 months from now. Only once every 3 months do we come to you, and we only use part of the show for 6 hours, and then we go back to our regular programming. Thus far, it has been a wonderful system that has always kept Catholic Answers able to continue. We had a very difficult pledge drive last time, and so we have some ground to make up. But we have a reasonable hope of doing that. Let me just tell you right now, Darren tells me we're 14% of the way of meeting our match, our $20,000 match for this hour. And, a good part of the hour is gone. So if you haven't yet picked up the phone, lots and lots of lines open. Everybody who you will speak to is our colleague. They are folks that we work with every day here. Say hello to them. Ask them about themselves. Ask them about Catholic Answers if you want. Tell them your story if you want. If you'd like, tell them you just need to get in and out quickly, and they will take care of you as fast as they can. The way to do that, take advantage of all the matching money we have available now. Just call up 888-291-8000 and make your pledge in any amount. Monthly pledges, right now, every new monthly pledge is being tripled because of a couple of very generous donors we have. So triple your money right now, 888-291-8000.
And I want to point out, Si, that the call we just received was, a serious pastoral call. There are a lot of people out there in the audience who are facing issues like scrupulosity and OCD and other pastoral issues that are a real burden on them. And in approaching questions like that here on the air, we seek to give orthodox, sound, and pastoral, gentle advice to help people get over those, because we want them to experience the love of God and the peace of Christ. As Jesus said at the Last Supper, "My peace I leave you, my peace I give you." And so we want to help people find that peace. And we do that here on the show every day, taking calls of all different types, many of the questions we take are intellectual in nature. But some of them are deeply pastoral and deeply personal, and we're seeking to help people in those situations. So please support us and help us be able to do that. The number to call is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. We have 21 of our colleagues online right now, and half of them have open lines, so you'll get through quickly and easily when you call. The number is 888-291-8000. Si, we haven't yet talked this hour about the different benefits that we would like to send people for different levels of support. So starting at the bottom, why don't you tell us about those?
Again, the number 888-291-8000. Lots of folks ready to take your call right now. In addition to the matches, these are thank yous that we're able to send you. So the match is for us, but these thank yous are for you if you can come in at the $10 a month or more. $10 a month or more. Your gift is tripled right now because of the two matches for new monthly donations, but you automatically become a member of our Society 315, which comes with really fine benefits, including you get the t-shirt, you get a car magnet, but you also get at least monthly some contact with the apologists and the guests that we have here at Catholic Answers for exclusive material. We're trying to find all kinds of innovative ways to stay in contact with Society 315 members. It's become very, very popular. A couple thousand people around the world in that now. We'd love it if you'd join Society 315, and that's for $10 a month or more. If you could do $20 a month or more, we'll add to that Jimmy Akin's very popular book, one of the most popular books published here at Catholic Answers, The Fathers Know Best, about the early church fathers. That's, again, at $20 a month or more. And your $20 a month pledge is tripled right now because we have all of that match money to use up. Maybe you could do $45 a month or more. And at that level, to all that I just said, we'll add Rod Bennett's beautiful new book on the 12 apostles, These 12. Very hard to find a better writer than Rod Bennett, and what a beautiful topic. He's looking at Jesus through the eyes of the apostles in These 12. So that's $45 a month or more. It would be tripled, and all of those benefits would be yours. Please call right now, 888-291-8000, and if you're able to do more than that, you could be in one of our giving societies at the President's Club and the Founders Circle, 888-291-8000.
And in order to join one of those higher level giving societies like the President's Club, that one you could make a one-time donation of $1,000, or you could do it on the installment plan. Just make a pledge of $84 a month, and that will entitle you to join the President's Club and receive, among other things, not just my book, The Fathers Know Best, and Rod Bennett's book, These 12, but everything we publish during the course of a year. So all the books, all the magazines, all the audio sets, all the DVDs, all the everything. You want all the things. And you can get all the things if you just make a pledge of $84 a month, which lots of people can afford. If you're able to go more than that, well, we have another giving society, the Founders Circle, which Cy mentioned. We had someone join from Singapore just recently at the top of the show. He mentioned that. And for the Founders Circle, you could join that by making a one-time donation of $5,000, or you could do that on the installment plan. If you make a pledge of $417 a month, that will add up to $5,000 over the course of a year. And once you make your first payment, you'll be part of the Founders Circle. And among other things, that entitles you not only to all the other thank yous we've mentioned, including everything we publish during the year, but it also entitles you to come to a special retreat that we hold once a year for members of the Founders Circle, where we update them on what the ministry is doing and solicit their ideas for where it may go in the future. So please, whatever you can afford, give us a call, 888-291-8000. Once again, that's 888-291-8000, or you can donate safely and securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
I'm going to head back to the phones for Jimmy. Before I do that, I just want to do two things. One, apologize to Canada because I was counting international calls I was using the wrong method. So I apologize to Saskatchewan and Ontario, where there are also gifts have come in for this pledge drive. And we have two new ways that you can pledge. That you can put just text the word Catholic to 24365. That's actually, we've had that for a few pledge drives now. Catholic. Text it to 24365, and then that will give you a link that you can make your pledge at. But if you use the Catholic Answers app, if you're listening on the Catholic Answers app right now, just scroll to the bottom of it. It's got a little button that says support, and that will allow you to make your pledge as well. That's the Catholic Answers app. Hit that support button. Right now, lots of lines open. Quite a few calls have come in while we were speaking, and we're very grateful for that. The phone number, 888-291-8000. Now we go down to Daytona Beach, Florida. Mike, watching on YouTube in Daytona Beach. We're glad you're here, Mike. Go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
My question is, I'm not sure if I heard it through friends or through family or saw it online, but someone told me that when the Magi went to go see Christ and they went into the cave to see them individually, that they saw different apparitions. Don't know where I read this, saw it, or heard it. Just curious if Jimmy has any knowledge on this.
Okay, so when the Magi arrived, it was a year to 2 years later, and so they weren't in the Cave of the Nativity at the time. Matthew tells us they were in a house, which could have been above the cave, but they were in a house, and it says that they saw the child and his mother. So it doesn't say they saw Jesus in different forms, like a baby, a child, and an adult. It just says they saw the child and his mother. There's nothing there to indicate they saw anything different than what the other Magi were seeing. So I would assume they just saw him as a normal 1 to 2 year old. I am familiar with a Gnostic book called The Secret Book of James, where after the resurrection, they do see him in different forms, and they're like coming in from the Sea of Galilee, and one of them sees Jesus as an old man with a long flowing beard, and another one at the same time sees him as a young man with a very short beard. But this is a Gnostic gospel. It's unreliable, and although Jesus, could appear in different forms to different people at the same time if he chose to, he's not a salt vampire, and I don't know of any basis for claiming that actually happened.
Thanks, Mike. I am so relieved to hear that Jesus was not a salt vampire. I remember one on Star Trek. There was
in the first aired episode, the Man Trap, and that appeared to different people different ways at the same time.
Yeah.
But enough of that, because we are coming up to a break. It's a hard break that we have to take. That means we won't be able to answer any more questions during that, so you will not miss anything if you call now. This is the perfect time to call, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. The number to call is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. Whether you can donate at the $10 level and join Society 315, whether you can donate at the $20 level and get my book, The Fathers Know Best, which I highly recommend, whether you can donate at the $45 level and get Rod Bennett's new book, These 12, which I also highly recommend, whether you can donate at the $84 level and join the President's Club and get everything we publish for the next year, whether you can donate at the $417 level and join the Founders Circle, whatever level works for you, do give us a call during the break. The number, once again, is 888-291-8000. Once again, 888-291-8000. And if you're listening time delayed or are in another country, you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
Open Forum with Jimmy Akin continues when we come back right after this. 888-291-8000. Make your pledge now.
Will you do us a favor right now? Clear your mind of all other thoughts and reflect for just a moment on how Catholic Answers Live has made a difference in your life. Has our broadcast made your afternoon commute more meaningful? Perhaps you've learned how to explain the faith to family or friends in a more vibrant, convincing way. Something you heard here may have been just the thing you needed to look into joining or returning to the Catholic faith. All of these are serious reasons to be thankful, first and foremost to God, but also to all who have financially made it possible for us to air the show each day. Believe me, our gratitude could not be deeper. And we're coming to you today during our quarterly membership drive, asking you to join the ranks of the great people whose gifts and sacrifices have helped to turn around countless lives over the years, and, very possibly, helped make an eternal difference for many of them. Think about that for a moment. That's what your prayers and donations to Catholic Answers Live are doing. What a tremendous opportunity is being presented to you right now. Please don't let it pass you by. Call 888-291-8000 or visit CatholicAnswersRadio.com and let one of our fast, friendly customer service team members take your pledge. Large or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you call right now. Again, it's 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. We're offering some great appreciation gifts that are sure to deepen your faith life even more. But what's best is you'll have the confidence that when you turn your radio on tomorrow or next week or 12 days from now, we'll be here, boldly and charitably presenting the truth to a world that's searching for precisely that. Your pledge is vital to keeping Catholic Answers Live on the air. Will you make the call today to 888-291-8000 or donate securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com? Thank you so much in advance. God bless you.
Glasgow. Welcome back. I'm Cy Kellett, your host. It's Catholic Answers Live. You're not supposed to say Glasgow. I said Glasgow, and it's Glasgow. So Deirdre here in San Diego, thanks for straightening me out on my pronunciation of one of the most important cities in the world.
It's also not Edinburgh, it's Edinburgh. But you didn't say that.
Edinburgh.
Forewarned is forearmed.
I appreciate that. I hope.
Let's hear for some donors from Edinburgh.
Yeah, exactly. The number here is 888. Well, excuse me. I want to give out the number where you can call Jimmy first. That's 888-291-8000. No, that is not 888-291-8000. That's the number you can give to make your donation. But the
number to call and ask a question is 888-318-7884. Once again, the call-in line to ask a question, 888-318-7884. However, the number we need most people to call, because unfortunately we can only take a few questions this hour, the number we need most people to call both this hour and next hour is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. And as we mentioned, Cy, every gift counts, no matter whether it's one time or ongoing, whether it's small or large. In order to reach our overall goals, though, we will need to be hearing from some people who have the means to be able to support us at higher levels. And yesterday I mentioned, because I understand if you're going to give $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or more dollars, that's something you may need to, check the status of your bank account or check with your spouse or think about it for a little bit. Some people have already been donating in $1,000 or $5,000 amounts, which is great. We really appreciate that. But we need more people like that. And I understand, some people will need to think about it and check. And so yesterday I mentioned this just to plant a seed so that people would have the opportunity to do that. And I want to remind you of that today. So if you've had a chance to think about it or do the checking you need to, today would be a great day to call in. Or go to the website and donate. Today would be a great day to make those donations. And if not today, then by all means, by tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last day of the drive and we really need to hear from you by then. So if you are able to make one of these very substantial donations, please either give us a call today or tomorrow at the latest. The number to call is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. And you can also donate safely and securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com any time of the day from anywhere in the world.
888-291-8000. Really exciting amounts of pledge matching money available. So let me run through that for you real quick before we send Jimmy back to the phones to talk with callers. There's a $20,000 dollar-for-dollar match this hour on every pledge, every gift that comes in. And half of that, a little less than half of that is left now in this hour. So you still have the opportunity to make that $100 pledge, it's $200. Make the $200 pledge, it's $400. And maybe you can make a $5 pledge. It becomes $10. But for those who can make a new monthly pledge, just start a new monthly pledge. Every new monthly pledge is matched again. So your money is essentially tripled. Say you can make a $10 a month monthly pledge right now. Well, we have that second match. That'll make it a $20 a month and then a $30 a month pledge for us. That's extraordinary. Maybe you could pledge $100 a month, become a member of the President's Club, and that becomes $300 a month to us with the match. 888-291-8000. About half of our phone lines open right now and 25 of our colleagues ready to take your calls. 888-291-8000. Please fill up those lines right now. They really would love to talk with you. It really is inspiring and exciting when the calls come in for them. And for all of us, 888-291-8000, 888-291-8000. Jimmy, if you're all right, I'm ready to go back to the phones.
Sounds great.
All right, let's go to South Dakota. Joshua listening on Ave Maria Radio. Thank you for waiting, Joshua. Go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. My question is, I was looking through the Catechism a little while back, but it kind of came back to me. And what I saw was that if you are able to help somebody, you have a moral obligation to help them in many instances. So that got me thinking, if you had some ability to move outside of time and had omnipotence of some kind, so you knew whenever people were being injured and you had the ability to help them, would you be morally obligated to help them?
Yes, you would be morally obligated to help people. So you're obviously talking about God, and God created us, and it would be wrong for God to create us simply in order to torture us. In other words, to let us experience suffering with no compensation. And so, as a result, the Catechism teaches that God would not allow any evil to happen unless he had a way to bring an even greater good out of it. And so, as a result, we know that whatever God allows to happen, even if it involves suffering, it's something that will ultimately bring about a greater good than would have happened if the suffering had not occurred. And so God actually is helping us. In fact, he helps us through our sufferings. That's the point, for example, of our nociceptive nervous system. I mean, we have these nerves in our nervous system that are called nociceptors that allow us to feel pain. And that's a good thing, because if we didn't have those, we wouldn't be alerted to when we're physically in danger. You know, you could put your hand on a stove and it could start burning and you could seriously injure your hand and even, maim yourself for life if you didn't have nerve endings that that caused pain and told you to get your hand off of there. In fact, there are people who have what's known as congenital insensitivity to pain, where their nociceptors don't function properly, and they can seriously injure themselves. They have to take lots of extra precautions so that they don't injure or kill themselves in ordinary situations. I was seeing a story about that online just the other day, and it's something I've been aware of for many years. Our nervous systems, including our pain receptors, really do help us. So pain actually can bring about good, including the pain that Jesus experienced on the cross, which brought about the greatest good of all, the redemption of mankind. And so regardless of who we are and what situation we're in, God only will allow us to experience bad things if he's going to bring about a greater good. As St. Paul says in his writings to the Corinthians, the sufferings of this life are not worth comparing to the weight of glory that God has in store for us. So yes, God as love itself, or as love himself, God is love, as St. John tells us. As love, God will not allow purposeless suffering. He actually is helping people. Even if it's not obvious at the moment, he is helping them through their sufferings to an endless weight of glory.
And thank you so much for that call. I really do hope that was helpful to you, Joshua. Thank you. We are in the midst of our spring pledge drive, where we are attempting to be fully financed for the next 3 months, to fully finance operations here in the Catholic Answer Studios. It costs about $220,000 to do that. We should be, our hope would be to be halfway to that goal by the end of this hour. A bit of a ways to go, but certainly doable this hour. Just to give you an idea, I looked this up because I want to say it. If you want to buy a 30-second TV commercial during The Masked Singer, and I picked The Masked Singer, of course, because it's the best show on television. If you want to buy a 30-second commercial, $200,000. So, for the cost of an average TV show, $200,000 for 30 seconds, that's what we run this place on for the next 3 months. And we depend on you entirely for that money. If you can help, right now is the perfect time to do it, because we have 2 matches to make your money go further. 888-291-8000 is the number to call. And here's how those matches work. It's $20,000 dollar-for-dollar match for any donation of any kind and any size up to $20,000. But we also have a second match going on during this pledge drive for anyone who starts a new monthly pledge, a $10 pledge, $20, maybe a $45 a month pledge, maybe even a $100 a month pledge. All matched again. So you essentially triple your money in helping us reach our goal for the next 3 months. 888-291-8000.
And we have plenty of people who are on standby waiting to take your call. 24 of our colleagues are online. Only 7 of them are on calls right now. We're going to have another short break coming up, so this is going to be a great time to call. The number to call is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. Kelly, yesterday I was talking about a passage in Galatians. It's in Galatians 6. So that's the last chapter of Galatians. And in it, St. Paul says that one should share all good things with the one who teaches. And then he goes on to say, don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Whoever sows to the flesh will from the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will from the Spirit reap eternal life. And I pointed out that I was talking to a friend once. This is back when I was an evangelical. I was talking to a friend who was an evangelical pastor, and I pointed out, look, Paul's talking here in the context of giving. He's saying if you don't give, if you just spend all your money on your own pleasures, you'll get corruption. But if you donate to support the teaching of God's Word, then you will, from the Spirit, reap eternal life. And my friend said, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe these are like 2 different sayings. These are 2 different subjects. I mean, yeah, he does say share good things with the teacher. But maybe this other thing is just a more general principle that's not specifically about giving. And I said, well, that could be the case, except he says the same thing in 2 Corinthians 9, where he is explicitly fundraising. He is taking up a collection from the saints in Corinth and other local churches, including as far away as Macedonia. He's going to bring the collection to the saints in Jerusalem. And in that same context, he says, back up a verse. He says, I thought it necessary to urge the brethren to go on to you, meaning you in Corinth, before me, and arrange in advance for this gift you have promised, so that it may be ready, not as an extraction, but as an exaction, but as a willing gift. The point is this, he says, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Exactly the same promise, a little bit different wording, but the same promise in the same context of giving. If you support God's works, including especially the teaching of his word, which is what we're all about here on Catholic Answers Live, you will receive benefits from God. If you sow sparingly, if you have the resources but only give a little bit, well, then you'll only get a little bit of a reward. But if you sow bountifully, in proportionate to your means, then you will reap bountifully from God. And as we talked about in the last question that we answered, the rewards we'll get in heaven are eternal. So bountiful reaping means bountiful reaping for all eternity. So you have the opportunity, by supporting the teaching of God's word with your financial resources, to gain eternal rewards that you will be able to enjoy for all eternity. Please do give us a call. The number is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. Or you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Oh, and after I pointed out that passage in 2 Corinthians 9, my minister friend immediately capitulated and agreed I was right.
888-291-8000. Lots of match money still to use up this hour. Perfect time for you to call. We'll take just a very, very brief break, and we'll be right back to our going to the phone lines and taking people's calls right after this. 888-291-8000, or safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
Catholic Answers Live.
Do you love sharing the gospel and want to learn to be more effective? Join the St. Paul Street Evangelization online School of Evangelization. You will learn to build bridges of trust and make disciples by befriending strangers, proclaiming the gospel, inviting people to the church, and praying with others. We'll ask for a pledge of financial support, but if you are unable to give, we'll give you a membership at no cost. Find out more and get involved today at streetevangelization.com. That's streetevangelization.com.
Welcome back to Catholic Answers Live. Thank you to so many people who have picked up the phone and called as we asked. It's very, very generous of you. 22 of our colleagues are standing by on the phone lines. 14 folks have called right now, so that still leaves you with 8 lines open. Fill them up, will you? Just fill them up, and we'll get all of this match money used up for this hour. 888-291-8000. 888-291-8000. In studio with us, our president, Chris Check, president of Catholic Answers. Thanks for being here with us.
Cy Kellett, Jimmy Akin, you guys are doing a great job. I want to say thank you to you, and I want to thank everyone who has called so far to donate to support this magnificent radio program. And Cy and Jimmy, as you guys know, but when a lot of people listening may not be aware because they don't experience it every day the way we do, this show works not only because of the on-air talent, like Cy and Jimmy and Tim and Carlo and Trent and Joe, but because of all the people on their side of this glass here too, who are so professional, who do the crawl screening, who operate the cameras, who run running the board there. My friends, it costs a lot of money to make a radio program of this quality. It costs a lot of money. It costs Catholic Answers. What do we put it around? About $800 a year, something like that. About $800,000 a year, something like that.
Yeah, slightly more than $800.
Oh, well, see, yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry,
I didn't mean. Am I breaking bad news to you?
No, no, that's fine. So, my friends, 888-291-8000. 888-291-8000. Your support means that we put this first-rate programming on 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. And it's always good. It's always good. And you're making it possible. More than that, 888-291-8000. Your support means that people come into the Catholic Church.
It definitely does.
This is a fact, my friends. I have a file cabinet in my office full of letters. I get emails on a regular basis. The rest of the people in the building, the ladies in customer service, they get phone calls to this effect all the time. I was not a Catholic, now I am. I was an atheist, now I'm in seminary. I used to be pro-choice, now I'm pro-life. To talk about a topic that's very, very important today. My goodness, the cultural change in this country that is coming, and I think of the work that guys like Trent Horn have done with the persuasive pro-life and the shows that we do, Call if you're pro-choice. There's no other radio program that's doing this as well, and we need your support. 888-291-8000.
888-291-8000 is the number to call. You can go safe and secure online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. And I think atheists should pledge, because I think we get more atheist callers than any other radio show anywhere.
I'm sure.
I mean, who else is taking all the calls from atheists that we take?
If you call and you're an atheist and you become a monthly pledger, your pledges will be tripled.
That's right. 888-291-8000.
And speaking of the good news recently about how Roe v. Wade, the abominable Supreme Court decision from 1973 that legalized abortion in the United States, may well very soon be overturned. I mean,
Praise
it's
God.
not 100% for certain yet, but it's looking very optimistic. That will save countless children's lives if that happens. We'll still have a long fight afterwards to protect all children, but that would be a marvelous development. And the news, even though I would have rather waited and not have had the leak of the draft decision, it's still very hopeful news. And, I said prayers of thanksgiving when it was announced the other day that that's the direction things are looking at going in. Something you might consider doing, because we have done a lot of pro-life work here on the show. We have answered lots of people's questions about this issue, and we will continue to do so, especially as the topic heats up in American culture. Something to do possibly as a Thanksgiving gift, as a sign of your appreciation for how God has led us this far on the pro-life issue. Maybe that's a good reason to make a donation.
Jimmy,
if you can, please give us a call at 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. And you were going to say something, Chris.
I was. We actually had several people call yesterday saying they were giving a gift in honor of the good news and Thanksgiving for the good news. Yeah. So very much appreciating. Okay, my friends, I'm going to turn this back over to Cy and to Jimmy. 888-291-8000. I want to make the three appeals that I always make.
Okay, please.
Here. The first one is the monthly givers. My friends, you have no idea how much your monthly pledge, your monthly gift, $10 a month, $100 a month, anything in between, anything over. This makes our planning and our budgeting for the whole apostolate just so much easier. And we know that we're going to have those resources in 12 months from now and 18 months from now or whatever it is, and we can plan for the future. And that strategic work that's important to the apostolate is made possible by those monthly pledgers. And that is why these donors in particular have said, I'm not doubling, I'm going to triple. I'm going to triple the monthly pledge because I know how valuable it is to the apostolate. So 888-291-8000. One, please make a monthly pledge. You join our 315, our Society 315, and there's all kinds of benefits that attach to that. Two, if you've never given to this program before, please pray and then call us with a generous gift. There are a lot of people who are supporting this program, and you've been listening to it, and you've been enjoying it, and you've been benefiting from it, and please God, it's been bringing you closer to the church, right? But now's your opportunity to step up. 888-291-8000.
Jimmy? I thought you were on
I sent you a note.
Oh, okay. I'll check that note.
Last group. Those of you who can make a really large gift, $1,000, you're in our president's circle. 5,000, you're in our President's Club. 5,000 puts you in our Founder Circle. Lots of benefits that attach to that. If you are capable of making 4, 5, even a 6-figure gift, you have questions about the apostolate, you want to see our books, you wonder about the efficiency of this organization, how well and how hard this staff works, I'm happy to talk to you on the phone. If you don't get me, I'm going back to the phones to answer them. Just let whoever answers the phone say, I'd like Chris Check to give me a call because I'm interested in making a very large gift. 888-291-8000. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Cy and Jimmy.
Thank you, Chris Check, President of Catholic Answers. We got time, so I want to head back and get another call on for Jimmy before we have to go to the top of the hour. Let's go to Caleb in Lincoln, Nebraska, listening on Spirit Catholic Radio. Caleb, we're glad to have you. Go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
Hey, thank you. My question actually has to do with the recent news that Roe v. Wade may be overturned.
Okay.
Sadly, I've seen many Jewish individuals claiming that this might infringe on their religious right to have an abortion. So my question is, how can we as Catholics respond to the Jewish claim that while technically a human life from conception, ensoulment or the status of personhood doesn't happen until after 40 days?
That's the claim.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Okay, so this is not actually a typical Jewish claim. I mean, I don't doubt that you've encountered people who have said this. The Jewish perspective on abortion is varied. It's handled differently among different groups of Jewish people. But to go specifically to the claim that ensoulment, or the point at which an unborn child receives a soul, that happens at 40 days after conception, that's an idea that comes from Aristotle. Aristotle was a great natural philosopher, and he did a lot for the cause of early science, but on this he was flat wrong. The idea was that when a child looks human, it becomes human. And in Aristotle's reckoning, that occurred 40 days after conception for males, and in some versions, 80 days after conception for females. But that's nonsense scientifically. Unfortunately, Aristotle was wrong on this, just like he was wrong on other aspects of science. I mean, he thought the Earth was at the center of the universe, surrounded by crystal shells. That turned out not to be true. And his science concerning embryology also turned out not to be true. We now know that human beings are uniquely human from the moment of conception because they have a human genetic code. We also know that they are living because they have metabolism, their cells are growing and dividing, and dead fetuses don't grow. So they're living and they're human. They are also organisms that are distinct from their mothers because they don't share their mother's genetic code. So as living human organisms, simply as a scientific matter, taking religion out of it, whether Christianity or Judaism or anything else, scientifically the unborn are human beings. They are living human organisms, and so they need to be treated with the respect that any other human being is given. So that's how I would respond in brief. And I just want to point out, Cy, that the relevance of this question to our current situation is not going to go away, regardless of what happens with the Supreme Court. Abortion is back on the national agenda, and it's going to be there from both directions. And we are going to need to do a lot of pro-life work here on the show. So please help us do that. Give us a call at 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. Celebrate with us the good news that the evil decision Roe v. Wade may finally be overturned, and help equip us for the coming fight, because there will be a fight. Abortion is not just going to vanish, but what the overturning of Roe v. Wade would allow us to do is begin that fight to protect all children once again, just like they were previously in American history. But we're going to need your help to do that, including the intellectual and spiritual fight here on the air. So please give us a call at 888-291-8000. And I want to congratulate you, Cy Kellett, for saying the phone number slower than Chris Check has been. So
I thought the same thing. I was ahead of Chris
Yep.
Check on this. Yes.
You were. So gold star for you. We're coming up on that hard top of the hour break that you mentioned, Cy, and so unfortunately we won't be able to take any more questions this hour. Tim Staples will be here next hour to answer your questions, but because you won't miss any question answering, this is the perfect time to call. Help us go out strong this hour by giving us a call at 888 291-8000, or you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com from anywhere in the world, any time of day, even if you're listening on delay. And the number, if you are listening to us live, 888-291-8000. Please let us hear from you now.
888-291-8000. We'll be halfway through our pledge drive at the top of this hour, and when we come back with Tim, I'll let you know how we're doing as far as the overall goal, where we each quarter need to raise $220,000, which is not a huge amount of money given what is usually spent on media. I mean, in much of secular media, we wouldn't be 5 minutes on the air for $220,000. But we are here every day for a couple hours, and we want to keep doing that for the next 3 months. Your support, very welcome. 888-291-8000. As Jimmy said, perfect time to call. We'll be away from the microphones for a few minutes. Give us a call now, 888-291-8000. Go safe and secure online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. And if you're on the line waiting for your question to be answered, Tim Staples coming up in just a few minutes on Catholic Answers Live. Welcome back to Catholic Answers Live. I'm Cy Kellett, your host. What a fun hour with Jimmy, and you made it a lot more fun for us because you were so generous with us that hour. As a matter of fact, the first 3 hours of the pledge drive, it's only 6 hours of pledge drive that we do every 3 months to ask you to fund us for the next 3 months, and we're through the first 3 hours, and we met our match last hour. We've now met our match every hour, and now we are more than 50% through. So if we can continue on this pace, and it's a heavy lift, but if we can continue on this pace, we're going to be all the way there. Darren says we're at 51% funded right now, halfway through. So that extra 1% makes me feel awful good.
Praise God, brother. Absolutely. And how are we doing on getting those monthly pledgers in?
Well, yesterday was a very good day for month, and people, I think, were generously helping us to use up that pledge, that extra matching money.
Do we have that today or no?
So we have it today.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
My
So
goodness.
we're ready to go. We got a $20,000 match this hour, right, Darren? Is that $20,000 dollar for dollar match this hour? Everything, any pledge in any amount is matched dollar for dollar up to $20,000. But we've also got that second match for any new monthly pledge. Any new monthly pledge that started will be matched again. So essentially, you start a new monthly pledge for $10, you're pledging $30 to us. I mean, we're getting $30 from that.
Praise God for this, Cy, because, as I mentioned yesterday, we started with a deficit because we didn't make our goals last time. And praise God, I want to thank you guys for coming through so far, but we are only halfway there, so we really do need your help. I know there are some folks out there, you've been, I should call. Well, now's the time, folks. Let's pick up the phone, 888-291-8000. We cannot slow down. We've got to pick it up, folks. Have you been seeing what is going on in our culture? With this whole Roe v. Wade may be overturned. I was reading this morning, Cy, and all I could think of is, my goodness, now is the time for Catholic Answers to give people the clear, the beautiful truth of the fact that a human being is a human being from the moment of conception, and abortion is wrong all the time, man. We are really going to have to step up to the plate and be able to answer the questions as our culture begins more and more to wrestle with this. And I just see good things in the future if you and I as Catholic Christians can step up to the plate, because we have the answers here, folks, and we need to give them. But you know what? We can't do it. This is true. This isn't hyperbole. We're not just saying this. The fact is, we cannot do this without you guys. Without you calling now at 888-291-8000. That's 888-291-8000. We simply can't do what we know we have to do, and not just answering questions about life, but proclaiming the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ that we alone possess as Catholics. You can also go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com, or you can text Catholic, the word Catholic, to 24365. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We are here for you at Catholic.com. Folks, we need your help now. And folks, I was blown away yesterday by this fact, and I've got to say it again, because I don't remember us ever doing this before, Cy. If you call right now and you give a gift of $100 a month, that means $1,200 a year. That is going to be tripled to $3,600.
Right.
That gets me excited, Cy. That
know.
is incredible. And there's a lot of folks that can give that $100 a month. Now, folks, I said it yesterday. I got to say it again. I know there's somebody out there that can give that $10,000 gift. Let's take this. Let's not just make the match. Let's go beyond. We're going to make Catholic Answers Radio strong. We're going to do more stuff, folks. You've heard our podcast now. We have multiple. We want to do a whole lot more, folks. Let's start here. Let's start right now. 888-291-8000, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Folks, if it's $25, we need that $25. That's what God is asking you to give. If it's $50, now, I want to ask you, I know there are some, you're already giving a monthly gift, right? You think, well, I'm already doing, listen, there's a lot of folks, we mentioned this yesterday, Cy, a lot of folks right now are hurting. Did you get the job numbers? We're not good this month. It's already starting to tail off with all of this inflation, gas prices, you name it, folks. Unfortunately, our economic times are not looking good here. So if you can afford it, you need to step up to the plate. And maybe you're giving that $50 a month. Double it. I'm challenging you. Double it to $100 a month. The $25 a month giver, double it to $50 a month. You will not be sorry. We need those $1,000 gifts and that $2,000 gift I know that's out there. And I'm going to keep on until we get that $10,000 gift, folks. Let me tell you, these are exciting times. There's never been a better time to be Catholic, and never has the message of the gospel been more important than right now.
888-291-8000. Take advantage of all the match money. If you get on the line with one of our colleagues, 22 of them right now ready to take your calls. Just ask them if you want to be clear on what matches are available for the funds you give. Just ask them; they'll help you through it. 888-291-8000, or go safe and secure online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. If you prefer to do it by text, you can text the word Catholic to 24365. Just text the word Catholic to 24365 and you'll get a pathway to make your pledge. And finally, if you're listening through the app right now, couldn't have made it easier for you. Just hit the support button at the bottom of the app and you will be connected to a way to make your pledge. I'm going to let Tim start answering some questions now. The number to make your pledge, 888-291-8000. We go now to Cheryl in Colorado, listening on the Catholic Answers Live app. Cheryl, we're glad to have you. Go ahead with your question for Tim.
Thank you. At Mass, Father was admonishing us to live orderly and consistent lives, like take care of our bodies and stay off our smartphones and stuff like that, because if we don't, eventually our soul might be in danger of hell. And that kind of freaked me out because this has been a really intense and lengthy struggle for me. I don't have good discipline, and I've got some persistent sins. I mean, nothing that's sinful in itself, like drugs or whatever, but just good things, using good things poorly.
Right.
And I've also got some mental health challenges, so sometimes what's sin is kind of fuzzy for me. So anyway, so two quick questions. Can you recommend any resources like the Church Fathers or like anything that would help me in dealing with tyranny of sense appetites?
Sure.
And two, can I offer up my suffering even though much of the blame for my suffering falls on me? Sorry.
No. Well, Cheryl, you know what? I really feel like we have a fellow here, but you may have heard of him. His name is Trent Horn. And he actually has a degree now, a master's degree in bioethics. Now, he gets into heavy-duty stuff there. But he actually has a course at our what we call CASA, Catholic Answer School of Apologetics, on ethics that is really good. That might be something you want to take a look at. But let me just give you some recommendations myself, Cheryl, because I think, number one, the most important thing in the spiritual life is recognizing that you can't do this, Cheryl. You cannot. Cy Kellett cannot. I cannot. We can't get ourselves to heaven, and we cannot keep God's commandments by our own power. We need grace. It is great to be sorry for your sins. It's necessary to be sorry for your sins, to go to confession. But ultimately, you're going to confession to get that grace. And of course, receiving the Eucharist, which is the source and summit of our faith, to get the power of the Holy Spirit in our lives so that we are able to live this gospel that we can't do on our own. So I would recommend, Cheryl, number one, it's prayer. Number two, it's fasting. Number three, it's almsgiving. I know we just left Lent, right, Cy?
Yeah.
But guess what? This is something we need to live all year long. Prayer every day from the first moment you wake up. Our goal is to pray without ceasing, as St. Paul says. Now, that doesn't mean mental prayer 24 hours a day, but it means you begin your day giving thanks to God. Choose a few minutes here and there to give thanks to God, and you can actually get to a point, I'm not there yet, Si, I'm working on it, to where your work is prayer. Everything you do can become a prayer when you just simply acknowledge to God, thank you, Jesus. Give me strength to continue on. That's all you have to do during your day. You really can make your whole life a prayer. But it begins with just a few minutes a day. You go up to a rosary a day. Prayer. Fasting is so crucial because fasting breaks the chains. Now, I know your problem is not so much in the moral arena and such, but fasting really breaks down the body and allows the spirit to rise up within you. St. Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27, he says he pummels his body to keep it under subjection. That means fasting. May even be some physical mortifications going on there with St. Paul, but that means fasting and such. Right? Why? Because when you beat down the body, the spirit rises up and Jesus can take over your life. So prayer, fasting. And what's fascinating too, I love the way the Catechism of the Catholic Church in section 2446 through 2449, when it talks about the corporal works of mercy, do you know, and spiritual works of mercy, that through prayer you can participate in all the spiritual works of mercy? Right? Because you may not be able to go and visit somebody in the hospital, but through prayer,
right.
you pray for Mother Teresa's sisters that are doing the work, and guess what? You are too. And that leads me to almsgiving, and how apropos we have an opportunity right now to give, folks, by calling 888-291-8000. Sorry, Cheryl, right? Because we need your help. But almsgiving, I love the way the Catechism of the Catholic Church points out that the giving of alms has a primacy of place when we consider the corporal works of mercy, because through the giving of alms, we can participate in all of those corporal works of mercy. Because again, just like praying for folks out doing the work, you can give alms to those doing the work that are out there educating the ignorant and admonishing the sinner, like we do here at Catholic Answers. So I would recommend highly prayer, fasting, almsgiving, and then finally, fill your mind, Cheryl, with good things. As Paul says in Philippians 4:8, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of a good report, if there's any virtue, if there's any praise, think on these things. We have to, yes, your priest is correct, turn off the TV sometimes. Get a good book, get the Word of God, read Scripture. Let the Word of God sink deeply and richly down into your heart, and He will, because He is the Word, transform you from the inside out. Prayer, fasting, almsgiving, good spiritual reading. God bless you, Cheryl. And folks, this is why Catholic Answers needs to be on the air. Because folks, here on Catholic Answers Live, we don't just talk about, strict apologetics, defending the faith. We also exhort people to live the gospel of Jesus Christ. As our president, Chris Check, how often does he say, without an interior life, nothing happens. Because apart from Him, Jesus says in John 15:5, right? Apart from Him, we can do absolutely nothing. This is why we're here, folks. You're not going to get this on CNN or Fox News or, you're not going to hear about what's most important for your soul out in the middle of the world, but you're going to get it here 24/365. But folks, I have to say, we have way too many open lines right now. We have 23 open lines, folks. We need you to call. We're kind of drifting back here. We need that $25 giver right now. Pick up that phone. We need you. We need that $100 a month giver right now. Remember what I said? That becomes $3,600. Pick up the phone. Somebody called. All right. Pick up the phone, folks. We need that $10,000 gift. I know we've got 10 people out there that can give $1,000. Folks, do you understand the importance of what we are talking about? I mentioned this yesterday, but if our listeners right now could read some of the letters the notes we get through snail mail, through email, through all the digital means of the lives transformed because they listened to Catholic Answers Live. Maybe they were an atheist, they now believe. They were a Baptist, or he or she was a Baptist, now they are Catholic because of Catholic Answers Live. I guarantee you, if you could read those, we wouldn't have 25 open lines right now. But folks, please pick up that phone. We need to hear from you. We're drifting a little bit back, but that's okay because I know you guys are going to pick up the phone right now and call 888-291-8000. That's 888-291-8000. Folks, we need to hear from you. And I'll challenge you once again, that $25 a month, can you up that? Up it to $50 a month. Maybe you're giving right now $20, make it $40. Maybe you're giving $50, make it $100, folks. If we join together, my friends, we can change this nation in one generation.
The number's 888-291-8000. All that match money is out there. Anything, any gift of any amount up to $20,000 this hour is matched dollar for dollar. But if you can do what Tim has asked you to do and become a monthly donor, that is really the bread and butter of what we do. Chris Check was saying last hour, and it really is true. It allows us to plan. It allows us to know what we can expect to be able to do in the coming year. If you can become a monthly donor, not only will every dollar of what you give be matched, it'll be matched again. It'll be matched a second time by a second donor. It's an extraordinary opportunity. Please pick up the phone and call. I want to keep Tim working, answering questions, so I won't spend too much time asking you to, but 14 lines open now of the 25 of our colleagues that are waiting, that are on the phones. 14 of them are waiting for your calls. 888-291-8000. I want to thank Ernie in Texas. He's a farmer. He gave us $1,000 last August drive. And then, thanks be to God, he said he's had a good year. He just very much appreciate that. I'm glad you had a good year, and thank you for sharing the bounty with us. John in West Point, Mississippi, just donated $500. I forgot to mention this, but at the very beginning, the first caller today was Edward from Florida, and I meant to thank him before, but Edward in Florida for kicking us off with a $500 donation. We're very grateful for that. And Gary from the Knights of Columbus, he's in Council 8844 in Rapid City, South Dakota. He was wondering if I could say something on the air about him challenging others in his council to donate. Yes, Gary, I can. Everybody in Council 8844 in Rapid City, South Dakota should be picking up the phone and calling right now, 888-291-8000. But you know, the thing about the Knights of Columbus is they're always there to help you. They always are. You need help in a parish? Start with the Knights of Columbus or the Ladies in the Altar Society. You're going to get help.
Amen.
888-291-8000. 888-291-8000. We'll go back to the phone lines now. Let Tim do his regular job, and we're going to start now. We'll go now to Duluth, Minnesota. Stephanie in Duluth, Minnesota, listening on 88.1 FM. Glad to have you, Stephanie. Go ahead with your question for Tim.
Thanks. I just want to say that I called the number for the drive, and the lady's like, I can't answer your question, but I can, take your pledge. And I'm like, oh, so I will be calling back to give a pledge after my question. Just people, waiting to.
I'll take your pledge, Stephanie. Go ahead. Do it right now.
Yeah, totally. Right.
All right. That's great.
So, but my husband and I were talking this morning about conception and stuff, and I guess the question that was answered earlier about how, when we're conceived, that's when we receive our soul. I liked that response. But we were thinking, what about clones or people, that have had children through IFE or, I guess, not natural means. I think I'd read something in John this morning that kind of spurred my question.
Yeah.
But then also hearing that via you guys too. So just your thoughts. And obviously, I believe that, people have souls, obviously, but just curious about thoughts about.
Do clones? If you clone a person, does that person have a soul?
All right. Right. Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And the answer is yes. As long as, God's creation is truly amazing. The more, ask any scientist worth his salt, a microbiologist, for example, to just look at the wonders of what's going on inside of a human cell. It is absolutely extraordinary, either on a macro level, astrophysicist, or on the micro level. Truly, as the psalmist says in Psalm 19, the heavens declare the glory of God. And in Psalm 139, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, right? Whether it's on the astro level, the cosmic level, or in the individual. And when we take a look on an individual level at ourselves and the way that the conjugal act produces a child, it is truly wondrous. However, that can be abused, and that's what happens with in vitro fertilization, as you said, or cloning. They're simply manipulating God's beautiful creation for procreation, and they're doing it. They're procreating. They're taking the essential elements that God has given, but they're doing it in a manner that's outside of God's law, and that's why it becomes gravely immoral. So if there is a human being conceived through cloning, yes, that human being would have a soul. And we know there are human beings, unfortunately, being conceived outside of God's law every single day in our nation. And this is another reason, Stephanie, for the clarion call to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we've answered that here at Catholic Answers. And I'll tell you what, we're doing the best we can. With the folks we have here, we have such expertise. As I walk around these halls and I see so many people that are so much smarter than I am. And I'm not just talking about the apologists who are smarter than I am, but I mean the folks sitting around here, computer people and everybody around here, and the way they work, it is phenomenal. We have come together. I believe it's miraculous. I don't believe you can explain the existence of Catholic Answers over the hard times we've been through over the years without God's grace being involved. But we're here for one reason, and that is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, the fullness of the gospel that we alone possess as Catholics. And folks, we've never had a more important time than now to proclaim this gospel. The Catholic faith is being put down. It's being distorted by folks within the church, outside of the church. We need a voice where people can call. And this was Carl Keating's vision that I believe has come to fruition, and we want to make it better, to be sure, but it has come to fruition. When you call here, you are going to get not Cy Kellett's answers or Tim Staples' answers, but Catholic Answers. What is that worth to you, folks? What is that worth to you? $100 a month? Oh my goodness, of course, it's really priceless. But think about it, folks. What would you be willing to give? And I'm going to challenge those of you who've been listening for a long time and you've never given. Come on, let me put some Catholic guilt on you right now. It is time to call right now. You have been blessed. You've been listening. Now's the time to call. We need you because we are, yes, we are. We're falling off right now. We got too many open lines. Pick up that phone right now, $25 a month. Come on. You know you can give $25 a month, or that one-time $25 gift, or that one-time $50 gift. Call 888-291-8000, and I'm still looking for that one guy out there, that one girl out there that's going to give that $10,000 gift. And I know there are a number of you that could give $1,000, $2,000, no problem. Call 888-291-8000 or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. We give as much as we can give, 24/365 here at Catholic Answers. We're asking you to give now. And remember, you can also text the word Catholic to 24/365 as well.
888-291-8000 is the number to call. 888-291-8000. I want to say thank you to Anna in San Bruno, California, for her gift of $200. And I want to say that because usually we don't talk about San Bruno. It's a joke. Does anybody get it? No? We don't talk about San Bruno? All right. 888-291-8000. Let's go to Hastings, Michigan, watching on YouTube. Aaron in Hastings. No, Aaron. That was bad timing. Aaron dropped just as I said it. All right.
Okay.
Let's go to Al in New York, watching on YouTube. Al, thanks for the call. Go ahead with your question for Tim.
Thank you. So my question is in Acts 6:1,
yes.
There's mentioned the Hellenists and the Hebrews. So I just wanted kind of get an idea, what's the distinction between, I'm assuming it's a Hellenized Jew they're speaking about here, so what is the distinction between the two groups?
Right. Well, actually, the Hellenists just refer to the Greeks in general. And remember, this is huge in the first century because, of course, we know Jesus was a Jew. He came first to the Jews. And the Jews for centuries had not just turned in on themselves, really contrary, because Isaiah says they were to be a light to the nations, not just the Messiah in the future, but they were. But they had really turned in on themselves and had a disdain for everything outside of Judaism. Tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back, but I want to pick up on that. But folks, we need your help right now. Is that true? We've only got 5 people on the call right now?
We got 5 calls on.
All right, folks. We've got 18 open lines.
Perfect time to do it.
We need your help at 888-291-8000.
Catholic Answers Live would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners in airing our daily program. Please support the stations and networks that carry us each day, ensuring that we have a platform for broadcasting the show. And please bear in mind that while we don't have to pay for airtime on our affiliate stations, neither do they contribute to the operating costs we incur. It's a great relationship, but it requires that we turn to you, our devoted listeners, for your prayers and financial support to cover our ever-growing expenses. Please call 888-291-8000 right now and help to keep Catholic Answers Live strong. That's 888-291-8000. Or you can donate securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. What began as a humble 1-hour daily show that was carried by 4 stations has, with the generosity of many fantastic people like you, blossomed into a 2-hour broadcast heard on hundreds of AM and FM stations, the internet, Sirius XM radio, Facebook, YouTube, and via podcast. We don't make that possible. You do. We simply cannot continue this media mission without your most generous gift today. Call 888-291-8000 or log on to CatholicAnswersRadio.com and donate now. People tell us all the time how much they depend on Catholic Answers Live to help them better learn, live, and share their faith. What they're really saying is they depend on you for that. Will you come through for them right now? It only takes a couple of minutes to make a huge difference at 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Again, 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. No matter how much you give, be assured of our gratitude and know that God will richly bless you. Phone 888-291-8000 or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. It's important that you take this important step right now, today, to make sure that Catholic Answers Live is here tomorrow and for years to come. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Welcome back to Catholic Answers Live, open forum. Also, our pledge drive right now. You can call and make your pledge at 888-291-8000. We're trying to be fully funded for the next 3 months. 888-291-8000. On the line with Tim, and he didn't really get much of a chance at all to answer the question, so we'll get back to it. Al in New York wants to know the distinction in the 6th chapter of Acts between the Hellenist and the Hebrew.
Yeah, and it's a really important distinction, and we're not just talking about Jews who are of Greek origin, but here we have introduced these crazy ethnoi, right? The goyim, the nations that the Jews looked so down on for so many centuries, and whom Jesus and St. Peter, of course, famously called Cornelius in Acts chapters 10 and 11 as the first Gentile convert into the church. And a lot of Jews, Christians, were not happy about it. Peter wasn't even all that enthused. Jesus had to strong-arm him in order to get him to bring Cornelius and his family into the church. So this is a powerful text. When you talk about the Hellenists and the Hebrews, this is the great mystery that St. Paul talks about in Ephesians chapter 3. The mystery, he says, hidden from all ages, how Jew and Gentile become one in Jesus Christ. And that's what's being spoken of here, even though that reality had happened the Hellenists, if you will, or the Gentiles had come into the church, there were still problems that needed to be ironed out, and that's what Paul's dealing with here. Man, and really, that's an understatement when you think about the level. We have problems with racism in our culture. Well, there's nothing new under the sun, Si. They had problems in the first century as well. And the same answer for our culture was the same answer given by St. Paul in the first century. And the answer is Jesus Christ. As St. Paul says it in Galatians 3:27, we are baptized into Christ, in whom there is neither Jew nor Greek, bond nor free, male nor female. All are one in Jesus Christ. Doesn't mean there's no longer males or females, but what it means is we are all one body in Jesus Christ. And folks, this is why Catholic Answers exists, because Jesus Christ established his church to proclaim that message of redemption, salvation that comes in the name of Jesus Christ, and the healing from sins that can only happen there, and a unity among the people of God and indeed the world that can only happen here, folks. That's why we're here at Catholic Answers, to proclaim the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But folks, every 3 months, we give, but once every 3 months, we got to ask you for help. Now, folks, we're falling off right now. For whatever reason, these lulls happen. We're falling off right now. We need your help desperately. Those of you who have been holding back, come on. Let's go. Pick up the phone right now, 888-291-8000, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com, or again, you can text Catholic to 24365. And I've got to tell you, folks, I mentioned this yesterday. I just spoke at a church here locally on Divine Mercy Sunday, and I had numerous people come up to me at a small gathering and thank me for Catholic Answers and the fact that it's because of Catholic Answers. They're Catholic in one case, another case, they're fired up in their faith because of Catholic Answers. Folks, we hear this every single day online and through the various avenues we have to proclaim the gospel. But folks, none of it happens without you. Please, pick up that phone now. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Pick it up. Go ahead, pick it up. 888-291-8000, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com, or you can text Catholic to 24365. Call now.
888-291-8000. Going right back to the phone so that Tim can answer more questions. Before I do, I'll just remind you of that all the bonuses are still available for this hour. All the matches for the pledge. So every gift is matched at least once. Every gift is matched at least once, 100%. So give $5, it becomes $10. Give $500, and it becomes $1,000. But if you give a new monthly pledge, if you start a new monthly pledge, you get on that phone, 888-291-8000, start a new monthly pledge, it'll be matched again. There's a second match, this pledge drive, for new monthly pledgers.
Incredible.
888-291-8000, or Safe and Secure online.
Can I say this real quick? It's amazing. So if somebody calls right now and says, I'm going to give $25 a month, that becomes $900. That is a $900 gift. Whereas normally, that's a $300 gift. $25 a month is $300 a year. But because of a generous benefactor who gave a lot of money, folks, $25 a month becomes $900. You need to call now. I would guess that most listen to me right now can do that. Call 888-291-8000. or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
And on the app now, the Catholic Answers app, which lots of folks have now, if you go to the bottom of it, you just hit the support button, and you can make your pledge there. Just hit the support button on the Catholic Answers app. Now Aaron's here in Hastings, Michigan. We're glad you're here. Aaron, go ahead with your question for Tim.
Hi, Tim. Thank you guys so much for taking my call.
Yes.
I have a two-part question. It's along the same lines. I was wondering if you can explain the Marian ideology biblically with the assumption and the perpetual virginity?
Sure, Aaron, great question. And real quick now on Mary's perpetual virginity. And by the way, can I give this man a gift of my book, Behold
Yes, please
Your
do.
Mother?
Please do, yeah.
Yes, I want to send you out a book I wrote called Behold Your Mother, a biblical and historical defense of the Marian doctrines. Just for calling in, all right? We're going to send that out to you because I go into great detail on all the Marian doctrines and dogmas. But Aaron, real quickly, to the Jewish mind, and to someone reading the New Testament who understands the Jewish mind, it is so clear that Mary would be perpetual virgin and on many, many levels. But here is one that's really important. You know the story when the angel Gabriel announced that Mary was to be the mother of God. And he basically asks for Mary's hand for the Holy Spirit because Mary is about to become the mother of God. She is about to become the spouse of the Holy Spirit. I want you to notice what happens when the angel says to her that she is being called to be the mother of the Messiah, the Son of God, whose kingdom shall have no end. The scripture says there in verse 33, Mary says, "How shall this be? For I know not man." That's an extremely important question in verse 34 there. Why? Because Mary was already married. Now hang on for a second, Aaron, because you'll probably hear in a lot of Bibles it'll say, no, they were only engaged. No, there was no such thing as engagement in the first century. They were espoused. And at the espousal, Mary and Joseph were married. In fact, if you go to the book of Deuteronomy, you'll see that if someone sleeps with a woman who is espoused, the punishment was death. Why? Because they've committed adultery. Even though the consummation hadn't happened yet, this was akin to marriage. And so when the scripture says there in Luke chapter 1, verse 26, 27, that Mary was espoused to Joseph, that means they were married. And so when Mary asks the question later, how shall this be, for I know not man, when the angel says you're going to give birth to the Messiah, the question doesn't make sense unless you understand she had a vow of perpetual virginity. Because if you're married and somebody says you're going to have a child, why would you be surprised? Well, she's surprised because of her unique calling. How shall this be? And then the angel responds, I'll tell you how. The power of the Most High will overshadow thee. Therefore, that Holy One which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. This language, Aaron, is literally, well, figuratively, pregnant with meaning. Because that language is the same language used in the book of Ruth. When Ruth says to Boaz, put your wing, your kanaf in Hebrew, spread it over me. That's marital language. When it says the power of the Most High will overshadow thee, this is nuptial language, so that the child conceived in her is conceived of the Holy Spirit. And when you understand that, Aaron, and the Old Testament concept of consecration, when something or someone is consecrated to God for a particular purpose, it can never be used for any other purpose. Joseph would have known full and well, my friend, once he realized, when the angel told him, fear not to take Mary, because that which is conceived in her is conceived of the Holy Spirit, he knew full well he was being called to be her and that baby's protector. He could never have conjugal relations with her. And you know what, for the assumption, I would just turn you, there's so many things we could talk about, we don't have time, but Revelation chapter 12 verse 1 puts it about as plain as day, my friend. The assumption is really simple. We see a woman clothed with the sun, right, with a crown of 12 stars, her moon under her feet. And who is she? She is the one who gives birth to the Messiah in verses 4 and 5, and then gives birth to all of us as well in verse 17. She's the mother of Jesus as well as the mother of all of us, because we are incorporated into Jesus Christ. There you have the assumption, because notice, Mary is depicted gloriously in heaven with head and feet, unlike in Revelation 6:9, the martyrs, we see the souls of the martyrs in heaven. In Hebrews 12:24, we see the spirits of just men made perfect in heaven. But here Mary is in heaven, but bodily so. Only her and Jesus. That's just 2 little snippets. We're going to send you out a book, Aaron, that has a whole lot more than that. But folks, you know what? What I just did in order to help out our new friend Aaron, we do every day here at Catholic Answers, explaining the Marian dogmas, the dogmas of our faith that are unique to our Catholic faith, to those outside of the church who don't understand. And I will tell you personally, I am grateful to God, and I will be for all eternity, that I once met a Catholic when I was serving in the United States Marine Corps. His name was Matt Dula, Sergeant Matt Dula, who was the Catholic who had Catholic Answers for me. And that's why I am Catholic today. And folks, I want to live my life as all of these 48 full-timers here at Catholic Answers. This is what we do. We want to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ, the fullness of the truth, all of our Catholic doctrines and dogmas to the entire world. But folks, I have to say it again. We cannot do it without you. Will you step up right now? We've got 18 open lines, folks. Please, I'm begging you, pick up that phone right now and call 888-291-8000. Every person walking around outside these doors here in San Diego and in your city, every state in the United States and around the world has a right to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. We are obligated as Christians. It is our duty, the Catechism of the Catholic Church tells us in paragraph 900, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, and that's what we're doing. But folks, we've got 21 open lines. Right now, we need your help. $25 a month, that $25 one-time gift, folks, that $50, $100. And I know we've got multiple folks, who can give that $1,000, that $2,000 gift. And has my guy called in yet with that $10,000 gift?
He has not,
okay.
Nor has she. I don't know who it is.
Okay, well, we're waiting right now, folks. Pick up the phone, 888-291-8000. Whatever gift you can give, we need it now.
Jean in Portland just donated $31.13 a month, and she says, Catholic Answers is the best. And she's right about that. I looked it up. Catholic Answers is the best. I looked it up after I got that note. Thanks, Brian in St. Louis. Gave $1 a day. Loves the way Catholic Answers is organized on YouTube. Loves Jimmy and Trent. Thank you so much. Martin in Ohio, thank you for your recent $1,000 gift. Albert in Colorado Springs, he did what Tim asked. He's already a monthly giver, and he just called to increase his monthly support. Thank you, Albert. Many, many more people to thank, but we would like to give you a sample. Right now, there are 24 of our colleagues, 24 of our friends who are sitting at their phone waiting to take your call. 6 of them are talking to callers right now. That means that there are 18 lines open. Please, let's just fill up the lines right now because we still have not met the match for this hour. There's still a ton of match money out there. Help us use up the match money for this hour, and we'll be hopefully 2/3 of the way done with the pledge drive at the end of this hour, and at least 2/3 of the way funded by the end of this hour. If we could do that, that would be wonderful. The number is 888-291-8000. A ton of match money is available. Ask the person on the line about that match money. 888-291-8000, or go safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. We don't do anything but produce radio that defends and explains the Catholic faith, explains and defends the church founded by Jesus Christ himself, shares Jesus Christ with as many people as we can. We need your help to do that. We need to be fully funded for the next 3 months. And to get there, we're going to need lots of folks to call. 888-291-8000. Now only 14, now 14 lines available. So fill those 14 lines up. 888-291-8000. You can always do this anytime, anywhere at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. And if you've got the app, just go to the bottom of the app. There's a support button there. You can hit that support button, and your donation will go directly into this quarterly pledge drive that we are embarked upon right now. 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Tim, I got another call for you, so we're going to go to Mike in Dallas, Pennsylvania, listening on JMJ Radio. We're glad to have you, Mike, in Dallas. Darren, I got a problem here. Can you press line 5, please? Mike in Dallas, are you there with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Go ahead with your question.
Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, we're happy to.
My question is something that has surprised me for one of the last couple of years. I've seen it called and listed as communal confession.
Yes.
And the first time I saw it, it seemed awkward and it seemed not kosher.
Yes.
It involved. I didn't see the purpose of it. It involved several priests on the one side of the rail and people confessing their sins on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, close enough to hear both sides. And the next time I saw it, this was like about 5 years ago. And this year I saw it not only. I didn't see it in person. I saw it advertised in the church bulletin.
Oh boy!
I just wondered, is this something that is allowed? Is this something that's encouraged? Is it something that is up to the bishop?
Right.
The
well, let me jump in there, brother. Yeah, there's a wonderful little section of the Catechism, two sections 1483 and 1484, that deal with this quite well. There is such a thing in the church. It's legitimate. It referred to as a communal celebration of reconciliation with general confession and what's called general absolution. However, it is only to be used in grave cases of grave necessity, such as you have people in danger of death. You're on a battlefield, right? You can do general absolution. An airplane, the airplane is going down. Father can get up and say, "Get contrite, Catholics, I'm going to absolve you of your sins." Or in cases where priests cannot get to an area for a long period of time and people would be deprived of confession for an extended period of time. This virtually does not happen in the United States of America. You can have a legitimate case, and this has to be under the scrutiny of the bishop, right? But I love the way the Catechism, last sentence in section 1483 says, it just puts on this little addendum. By the way, a large gathering of the faithful on the occasion of major feast or pilgrimage does not constitute a case of grave necessity. Now, there's no doubt that Cardinal Schonborn and Cardinal Ratzinger put that in there because of what you're describing to me, that folks, there have been priests. Now, I don't know the situation you're talking about, but I know this. There have been cases of abuse, and many of them that the church has called on the carpet and said no. But even in the case where you have a legitimate, communal celebration of reconciliation, the next section, section 1484, says individual integral confession and absolution remain necessary. That's the only ordinary way for the forgiveness of sins. And even in the case when you receive forgiveness of sins in an extraordinary way, you are still bound to go to confession when it is available. Okay, so really important. Thank you for calling in, folks. And can I say one more time, this is why Catholic Answers is needed on the air. Folks, there is so much confusion. Would anybody agree with me? There's a lot of confusion out there as to what the Catholic Church actually teaches. We have people distorting it inside, outside the church. We need a voice like Catholic Answers, and we have it, my friends. But guess what? We're down, oh boy. Now you guys are making me nervous because I don't believe we've made our goal, folks, for this hour, and we are down to our last, 10 minutes, is it?
Yeah, well, we'll be on the air for 6 more minutes. But
Okay,
10 minutes
we're only
till
on the, oh my, now I'm really nervous. All right, we're only on the air for another 6 minutes, folks. You can keep calling, though, right?
Oh, after we go off the air, as long as the calls are coming in, somebody will be here to answer.
Keep calling, but folks, we really need you now. Now we're in danger of not making our goal. My friends, we can't do this another time. We need your help. Folks, if you liked what you just heard, giving Catholic answers to folks who legitimately are seeking truth, then pick up the phone. Keep us on the air, my friends. Call 888-291-8000. And not just keep us on the air, help us to thrive. We want to do more to bring the gospel to people all around the world. Can you pick up that phone right now? Folks, we need your help. 888-291-8000. Maybe it's that $500 gift, that $100 gift right now. Especially those monthly gifts, folks. I can't believe this. We're tripling. Thanks to the beneficence of some wonderful people. We can tell you, you give $25 a month, it's not just $300, it becomes $900. You give that $100, it's not $1,250, it's it's not just $1,200, it's $3,600. That blows my mind, folks. And we are coming down to the wire right now. We really need you to call now, whatever the gift, my friends. And where is that guy with that $10,000 or that lady with that $10,000 gift? We need multiple right now, $1,000 gifts. Maybe we've got a $2,000 gift out there. And don't forget, we need those $25 gifts as well, especially $25 a month, which again becomes $900 toward our goal.
The number to call is 888-291-8000. 24 of our colleagues are on the lines, 14 of them talking to folks right now. That means 10 lines open. You can get in and out in about 90 seconds if you tell them you're in a hurry, or chat with them. Tell them why you are giving to Catholic Answers, why you enjoy Catholic Answers, maybe what it has meant to you, or ask them about Catholic Answers. Maybe you got a question about what goes on here, what their work life is like. They're happy to talk, in other words, or they're happy to get you done quickly. Just dial 888-291-8000. Fill up those lines. They will be delighted to have the opportunity to speak to you. 888-291-8000. At the end of this hour, we should be 66%, that is 2/3 of the way to our overall goal, and we are not there yet. We're about 5% below that, and because the overall goal is $220,000, which will fund us fully for 3 months. So that money goes a long way. You get a lot for that money. $220,000 to be completely funded. We still need probably $10,000 to be where we need to be at the end of this hour as far as being on track. We're fine. I'm not trying to panic anybody or anything like that. Tim is trying to panic you. But you've already tried Catholic guilt. Now you're going to try panic. But that's a considerable number. So if you can make that $10,000 gift that Tim's been asking for, we'd love it right now. But maybe you can just maybe you can do a $10 gift. Every bit helps. Amen. It gets us closer to that goal. 61% of the way there. We'd like to finish at 66% of the way there. Let me tell you all 4 ways to give. You can call 888-291-8000. You can go online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. You can text. Just text the word Catholic to 24365. They'll take your donation there. Just text the word Catholic to 24365. And if you're listening on the app right now, you can just go down to the bottom of the app. There's a button that says support. That means your support for us. Just click that button, and very quickly you will be done making your pledge to Catholic Answers. Lots of ways to give. Phone lines filling up, so that's wonderful. If the phone lines are full when you call, just hang on a minute. Somebody will get done on somewhere, and then you'll be able to get through to one of the folks here. Remember that when you are talking to those folks, none of those folks are overseas. None of those folks are even volunteers. It's our colleagues have taken their hour right now to be on the line speaking with you. Say hello to them. Get to know them.
And it's going to be really important because, the lines are full right now. Keep calling, but also go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. We are kind of down to the wire. Now, 2 lines just opened up, folks. So you can call 888-291-8000 or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Or remember, you can text the word Catholic. They can give any time there, right?
Anytime you can text the word Catholic.
Text the word Catholic to 24365. But folks, get back on those phones. We've got 2 lines open right now at 888-291-8000. We are really down to the wire right now. Do we have 1 minute left on the air?
1 minute. 1 minute left on the air. We'll just finish this minute, and then we'll go off the air. Tomorrow we'll be back for more open forum and to close out this pledge drive. But folks will stay on the line. So if you're just pulling into the driveway, it's all right. Go ahead and dial 888-291-8000. They'll stay there, ready to take your calls. 888-291-8000. Tim, thank you for a very good hour.
God bless you. Keep calling, folks. Yes, thank you, Si.
888-291-8000. Lots of folks answering. We know that there are folks who can make those larger donations, and several $1,000 and even a $2,000 donation in the last moments here. We're very grateful for that. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll let you know if we're in line to meet our goals. 888-291-8000. We'll see you then, God willing, right here on Catholic Answers Live.